Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to what is Day 5 Game 1 of Dignitas Week. I really hope you have all been enjoying this. This is the final day and it is going to be starring Ourk, the blue Zerg player in the top right. He's up against RainMan this game, the red Zerg in the lower left, but let's talk a little bit about Dignitas' Ourk. Well, obviously he is super new to the team because he actually only joined Dignitas in December 2012, so literally a few weeks ago. It's after a gamer search at I-47, and yeah, he's been a solid performer through the UK scene. I don't know how well he's known outside of the UK, but he's been to all of the I-Series events. He's done really well at WCS, UK, etc. And just generally, he's been around for quite a long time, and he's always been really good. I mean, he was really starting to show how good he was back in the beta days, actually, where he did some really impressive stuff. So, really looking forward to see how he plays today. I've got quite a few games from him, actually. He's been absolutely great. He sent me over quite a few, and as he's the new guy, and as it is the final day of Dignitas Week, then I just figured, hey, I'm going to do up quite a lot of those. Now, of course, well, for those of you who've got here and you're a little bit confused about, hey, you keep talking about Dignitas Week, you got the Dignitas logo up there, what are you on about, Madals? Well, let me tell you, basically Dignitas Week, if you haven't caught any of it, it's every day this week I've been following one of Dignitas' players. So day 1 was Dream, day 2 was of course Johnny Rico, day 3 Bling, day 4 T-Fel, and now day 5 Ourk. And basically I've cast a whole load of their games, I've done an interview with them, and it's all stuck together in a big playlist. There's a big Team Liquid thread about it, so all of that is linked in the description for the video, so make sure you check it out and check out all the different days. And basically the purpose of this is for you to get an idea of the team, their play style, what they do, what they think, their personalities, etc., and really, hopefully, just to give them some more exposure. So, if you'd like me to see this do this for some other teams, then of course do let me know in the comment section below or on Team Liquid, etc. Just give me a shout of any teams that you'd love to see me do this sort of thing for, and of course make sure you do connect up on social media to all the different players, all of the teams, etc., and me would be great, and let us know what you think. Now, looking down here, both players are, well, got some differences already. Obviously, it was a hatch first out of RainMan. He followed that up with a gas, then pool. Meanwhile, for Ourk, it was pool, then hatch. And that's really pretty similar economically. I mean, if we look at the work account, very similar at the moment. Ourk will get his queen out quite a bit sooner than that of his opponent just because of the earlier pool. He'll get his natural hatch up slightly later, just because of the fact, obviously, he didn't go hatch first. But the advantage being having an earlier queen means you get the inject, you get a few lava slightly sooner. You're a bit safer as well, as you can see, Ourk getting 2 Zerglings out just to be safe. So, obviously, long term, RainMan, he's going to be in a good spot. He's going to have slightly better economy. But short term, Ourk's going to have a few more lava out on the field. So, all in all, it kind of balances out. Now, let's talk a little bit about Ourk and what else he's done. Well, for those of you who don't know him, he's Grandmaster's player. He's currently in EU, ranked 126 according to SC2 ranks, and he is 311th in the world rankings. So, really not too shabby at all. Yeah, he is also playing Zerg this map, and for those of you who do know Ourk will know that, hey, he actually switches around his race quite a lot. He's very good with all 3 races, and since the start of Wings of Liberty he's done stints with both Terran and Protoss as well as Zerg. So I've got some games of him playing Protoss as well, so I'll be sure to show you some of those. And for anyone who's ever played random, or at least ever played all 3 races, I know I have, it's something that is really actually quite difficult to do because there's lots of differences in their play styles. You've got to know, well, all of the matchups, just not 3 of them, and as a result it can become exceptionally difficult in order to try and learn all that. So it's really a credit to how versatile and how well Ourk knows this game, so that's always something that's cool to see. Ourk is getting up both of his gas now and also a Rotron. That's quite an early Rotron. As you can see, he hasn't started speed yet due to not having the gas. Meanwhile, obviously speed not being started either yet for RainMan, who is just happily starting to get up some more gas. He started the +1 carapace and the spine crawler before actually getting that speed out, so that's quite an interesting strategy there. It means in ling on ling engagement he will engage better, just due to the fact that obviously the Zerglings do have +1 armor. Now, we do have this one Overlord getting pushed back just to try and hide the vision, but I do believe Ourk would have seen everything getting researched down there. Actually, no, he didn't actually see the Evolution Chamber finish, so he doesn't know that an upgrade's coming down, he just knows it's an early Evo. He's got Spine Crawler up, double Evolution Chamber as well, so we'll be going double upgrades. The Rotron has now finished, but if we look at the work account, we're at 38 now, or 39 to 36. So a slight lead for Ourk at the moment. He's also got a complete wall off. That's important because that just really puts an end to any kind of Zergling run-bys or anything like that. So good little SimCity going on there. There's the double upgrades, the 1-1 ranged. We do have the macro hatch coming down for RainMan, so he's going to have good production there. And he's also getting up his lair. So in terms of upgrades, it's all looking good. He's also got the +1 melee coming down there. So to be honest, both these players going double upgrades, but a real emphasis on Zergling is out of RainMan, whereas Ourk definitely gearing up for a big roach push. So as a result, if RainMan is able to hold any big aggression, then he's going to be good. He's also taking his third really early, but Ourk does scout that. So that third base, that says to me, hey, Madals, I'm going really economically focused. I can afford to, because I haven't taken much gas, because I'm going so heavily focused on Zergling speed, about to finish up for RainMan speed, not even started for Ourk. He's just going straight up to roach speed, and well, he's getting his third base. That's in direct response to this third he scouted out with that Overlord, which was over here. So really, that's just why you always have an Overlord at your opponent's third position in ZvZ. It's a great move to make, and what's really interesting about this ZvZ is so far, no Banelings, which is something that you don't usually see at high levels of play. So it's really adding some interesting stuff here. Obviously these roaches are coming over and they'll deal well with the Zerglings until there's a good mass of Zerglings, and then of course you need a good mass of roaches, otherwise the surface area is too high and the Zerglings are able to do an awful lot of damage awfully quickly. Now looking here, drone transfer is coming down. If we look at the drone count, Ourk actually ahead by 4 already. That's really good for him, and well, due to the fact he's getting his third base out at a similar timing, he should stay ahead. He does have more gas out. He has got lair, but hasn't started. As I say that, he literally clicks on the road speed upgrade, so that's quite interesting. We've got a bit of an engagement coming in here. We've got a good surround by all of these Zerglings. The Queen is going to go down, gets a transfuse off first though, trying to keep these roaches alive. They are backed against that hatchery, so going to stay up for as long as possible, but quite a lot going down here, although RainMan almost certainly going to be forced to pull back very soon in order just to make sure to save those. But he did some good damage. If we look at the loss tab, Ourk lost about 200 more resources than that of his opponent there, and also the Queen. That means of course he's not going to be able to inject onto that third base, but neither can RainMan yet. He doesn't have his third Queen, so both are still on 2 Queens, which is absolutely fine. Now obviously if we take a quick look here, big amounts of Zerglings coming up here with 1-1. 2-2 is on the way. The roach numbers are slowly and steadily gaining though, and that's a big advantage because once you start getting more roaches out, you're in a good spot. But it looks like these Zerglings, oh, I thought they're going to go straight into the natural, and it looks like they are going to. This could be pretty damn big because, well, we're going to see an awful lot of drones potentially go down here, using hold command, just trying to get those Zerglings to do as much damage as possible. Zerglings coming up into the main as well. The roaches trying to clean this up ASAP, but well, where are they? Oh, they're picking off a Queen. That's going to hurt Ourk's production really quite badly because that is a lava every 10 seconds from injection, as you can see here. Huge damage being done. A lot of drones getting taken out. 19 killed already. This is really starting to hurt. However, we do have Ourk starting to clear all of this out now. But is he going to lose his roach one? It could be pretty damn close, but I think he should be able to save it now. So all in all, he lost an awful lot of drones there. If we look at the worker count, 47 now to 39. That is a big deficit, and of course wave 2 from RainMan on its way in. The downside for RainMan though, obviously, as Ourk starts to get more roach numbers out, he's able to reduce the surface area that the Zerglings are able to attack and will engage more cost effectively. Getting the choke there, unfortunately, can't get the whole command off in time in order to stop those Zerglings running by. But, well, he's got reinforcing units coming in, and for the moment, RainMan will be forced back. Ourk with the 1-1 upgrades as well for his roaches, so that does mean the upgrades are equal for the moment, but any second, 2-2 about to kick in for RainMan, and the red Zerg is going to take the lead. And, well, obviously, the injects are really helping here. Resources lost, so the RainMan actually lost quite a bit more, but only minerals, no gas there. 2-2 just finishing up. Pathogen glands on its way, and here comes the counter attack from Ourk, and this is going to be a pretty tough engagement for him because he has got a real spread there, which means the Zerglings are able to get an awful lot of surface area, but Ourk looks like he's got just too much stuff for the time being. And what is RainMan going to do? Well, he's got to pump an awful lot of Zerglings out, but is it going to be enough? At the moment it's not looking like it is, seeing the supply plummet now for the red Zerg player. Ourk keeping up most of his roaches now, and as you can see, he is pushing forward. He is going to be able to snipe off that Queen very easily should he want to. He's going to get good drone kills, and this is precisely what he needed to do. He needed to get this big counter attack. There goes down the Queen. Obviously, he's going to start hurting the injects now, which is exactly what he wants. He needs to hit his opponent's macro hard and fast, and that's precisely what he's doing. He's tucking in behind this hatchery now. It's a great little comeback here. This counter-attack doing absolutely massive amounts of damage. As you can see, he hasn't killed as many workers as he may like, but he's going to pick off the third base, and that was one thing that the red Zerg player did not manage to do. He did not manage to pick off Ourk's third, and as a result, Ourk has been able to come in for this counter attack and really level things up quite nicely. If we look at the loss tab, you can see RainMan having lost an awful lot more resources than that of Ourk, and in terms of the worker count, Ourk now really far ahead, 54 to 38. That is a big lead for Ourk, and really does put him back in this. But the counter attack coming down now for the red Zerg player, and this is a real back and forth match, and obviously the big difference is pathogen glands, and therefore infestors are on their way out, whereas Ourk only just finishing up pathogen glands now and getting his own infestors out. So that potentially gave a small window for RainMan to really push in with those infestors, but it looks like he's not going to, and that means obviously Ourk is going to get his own out. He's going to be able to really shut down the mobility of those Zerglings, and that in itself is going to put him in a good spot. The other key difference, +2 missile attack on its way, but of course 2-2 already up and running for the melee red Zerg. So in terms of how it's going right now, I'd say Ourk slightly ahead just purely based on the supply. He's got a lot more army supply, but of course roaches are more supply intensive than Zerglings, and he's also got slightly less workers. So really he needs to start catching up on the worker count. He's pumping an awful lot of roaches out though. He's got a good number of infestors, and as we can see here, RainMan happy to just sit back and defend, but so is Ourk for the time being. Both players have got a good overlord spread for the time being. They're getting a good look at, hey, what's going on. Ourk though coming across the map, he's got his infestors there as well. He's not got anything to defend this base though, so this Zergling attack could do absolutely massive amounts of damage. We'll wait and see precisely what it does, but Ourk has scouted it. He does see it with the overlords, and therefore is going to pull back to try and defend. But how much damage is going to get done here? It could be an awful lot. The Zerglings running. They're going to try and snipe down that third, actually. The drone's being pulled, just trying to do some damage. The transfuse goes down. That is great play, but how close is it going to be? I think it's going to fall, and that is a big loss for Ourk if that goes down. And unfortunately, it does, just as one Zergling manages to get away with its life. That was incredibly close, but of course, this counter-attack coming in. So many infested Terrans down here, and as a result, big damage being done all around. Some fungal growths did go off there. Some fungal growths going off from the infested Terrans as well, but of course, that gets rid of all of the energy available to RainMan's infestors. And of course, Ourk really now at a position where he's got to try and win, because he's lost his third base. In terms of the worker count, it's 58 to 64 in the red Zerg's favour, and therefore Ourk, he's really got to think, hang on, I need to win this game. He's retaking his third, which is really his only option. RainMan is banking quite a lot of minerals right now. He's also trying to pick off these infestors, but Ourk trying to get back to defend them. 1 falls, 2 falls, 3 falls. That is of course not what Ourk wanted right there, but look at all these roaches. They're starting to move forward. He does have +2 missile attack now, so the upgrade advantage is not as extreme as it was before for the red Zerg player, but these infestors, some do have enough energy for a fungal growth, and that is going to be the threat. The fungal growth doesn't get very many units there at all, but the infested Terrans are getting locked down, preventing the retreat. Ourk pulling back as best he can. He does not want to engage those infested Terrans. Of course, 3 units, which deal a lot of DPS. He wants to be as careful as he can. He wants to be as cost effective as he can, because ultimately he knows RainMan has a third base, while he himself does not. So that is something that you've got to take into account. If you're a base behind, you've got to engage cost effectively. Ourk now coming in from the natural. We've got, of course, some more infested Terrans getting locked out, but not many at all. +2 missile attack really showing to work now. Burrow nearly finished as well. That's going to be big for Ourk. And +2 carapace nearly done as well. As you can see, RainMan being forced to leave the game purely due to the fact that, well, he had no more units on the field and his infestors were completely out of energy. So Ourk really showing there how aggressive he was. He took the 4th base as well. It was a real back and forth game at every point there. So that was a perfect game to start this off on, and I hope you did enjoy it. Now, basically, follow everything and everyone on Twitter to do with this. So of course my Twitter's up on there. There's @Team Dignitas. All the links are in the TL thread as well to all of the different social medias, etc. So make sure you check those out, and I will see you at game 2 any second. I'm Madals. This is Dignitas Week. See you in a sec.